Hey! Wait! Wait. Just wait.
Oh God, the things I do for you guys. I hope you appreciate it. Right, okay, let's get this piece of shit out of the way. I was staggered by how bad the back half of this film was. You ain't seen nothing yet. Right, okay, so where we left it, Deck had built a great big fire, or started a fire, to attract the Kalisk, his main prey, the trophy that he wanted to take to prove himself as Yautja. And we cut back to Thea, who is slowly, very slowly, stitching herself together with this sort of tool. Even though we've seen androids move mega fast, and presumably she can do the same, she's just really slow, deliberate, methodical. And then we cut back to Deck and the Kalisk. They do their roaring thing, and then they get into a bit of a fight. And as we see more of the Kalisk, I start to get this sinking feeling.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
Given how this film's gone so far, I'm pretty sure is going to be borne out. So here we go. There's a kind of cool fight scene here. You get the bit where Deck slices off the door of the Weyland-Yutani vehicle, uses it as a shield, ducks under the Kalisk, slices it, chops off its tail. You know, it all looked pretty cool. And then the tail just regrows really stupidly fast, like, you know, almost instantaneously. And you're kind of like, yeah, doesn't quite look right. We cut back to Thea, who's being stitched together, and she's almost there when Deck gets thrown through the door and smashes her in two halves again. And she literally even goes, "Oh, come on!"
Oh, come on!
I mean, this film misses no opportunity for, like, cringe comedy at all. Every single one it will go for. So Deck's fighting the Kalisk again outside. He goes back outside while Thea scrabbles back for a gun. And she gets a gun, and then she sort of shoots the Kalisk while Deck's fighting it. And Deck goes and gets like a chain from like a rotary motor type thing, like a winch, and snags the Kalisk with that so that it can't really get away, because this giant, like 30-foot beast is no match for an old chain. Quite why they're still using an old chain and winch 300 years in the future, not a clue. So Thea gets knocked over and loses the gun. Deck takes the gun and then shoots the Kalisk and then traps its tail in a door of like a container, because again, the Kalisk definitely isn't strong enough to get out of that. Then runs up the Kalisk's body and decapitates it with his sword, which is shorter than it was before because the tip's been snapped off, but apparently it can still go straight through his neck. Whatever. I mean, it all looks cool, but it's just kind of dumb. Anyway, while Deck stands there watching it, being like, yeah, I've chopped its head off, its head just reattaches, like just grows tendrils out of it and just reattaches. So obviously the Kalisk is pretty much invulnerable. And then while Deck's just standing there, the Kalisk pins him, and we get a good look at the Kalisk's face. And now I am 100% sure that this is an adult version of Bud. Great. Just in case the audience hasn't worked it out, it sniffs Deck. And it's like a little bit confused. It's like, not quite going to eat you because, strange, not quite sure. Freezing grenade gets thrown out of nowhere. And directionally, thankfully, rather than doing what a normal grenade would do, which is explode in all directions, this one goes straight to Deck and the Kalisk and freezes them both. Yeah, okay, fine, no worries. Whatever. Christ. So the next shot is of the vehicles carrying, sort of Deck and the Kalisk off. And you can see it again, it really does look a lot like Yautja Prime. We cut to the inside of one of the vehicles, and Deck is in restraints. He wakes up, and despite knowing about Tessa, and despite her having legs, and despite her wearing completely different clothes, he thinks that it's Thea, and he tells her to release him. And then when she turns around, he realises it isn't Thea. Yeah, whatever. It's just one of those moments. It's like the film's like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if he thinks that, oh yeah, and then he realises like, no, it's not. It doesn't make sense. It's fucking dumb. Hollywood, go fuck off. So Thea is actually there. She's sort of sat on a shelf, kind of being rebooted or whatever. And Tessa is talking to Dec. And I'm so sick of this Yautja language because Dec's just talking back. And they're talking to each other in Yautja. And I've got to say, like, as far as restrained predators go, I preferred this scene in The Predator, where the predator's in restraints and then just wakes up and then just, kills everybody. That was a decent scene in that film. The film was garbage. Probably overall worse than this. But that was a decent scene. This is just crap. So Tessa is just like stereotypical kind of mission first android. Like, they're nothing. Her and Thea are nothing like each other. They're saying these two androids have developed sensibilities and sensitivity. Tessa's about as sympathetic as a block of lead. Anyway, Tessa wakes up Thea and starts like rebooting her or whatever. And Thea is really not on board about this. Like, Thea's like, you don't need the Yautja. And Tessa says, these are the words, "You were right about the Callisk. It is a regenerative marvel." So they didn't know. They've been studying it. They didn't know it regenerates. They were just trying to take it anyway. Like, Thea was in the lab and said it could probably regenerate. And, whatever. And she's also like, we're taking Dec. We'll use him as well. They haven't had... They want to study him to find out more about his weapons. They know their language absolutely perfectly. Like, fluently. They can speak native Yautja so that Dec can understand every single word. But they don't know a lot about the Yautja, apparently. And they need this one, even though it's not a good specimen. And Thea's like, it's defective, let it go. We don't really need it. And Tessa's like, yeah, we will get rid of it, but we need to take a sample. So she just starts torturing Dec. Because we need to know she's evil, I guess. Even though they're meant to have higher sensitivity so they can work with animals and exploit them. And I'm like, oh, fuck me. So Thea tries to get Tessa to stop it, and when she won't, thankfully, Thea is just in range of a button, even though she's got no legs, within arm's reach of a button, just shut it down and stop the experimenting and torture of Dec. So now Thea and Tessa have this talk, and I've got to say, the acting from Elle Fanning here is pretty good. She's a damn fine actress. I wish she'd been given a better role here. But the long and short of it is basically, Tessa compares herself to Quay and says that she nearly got killed protecting Thea, who she compares to Dec. And she says, look, protecting you almost cost me everything. The Yautja cull, they're weak, and they're right to do so. Thea, you're broken. So she's saying, look, Thea, you're like Dec, you're weak. I shouldn't have tried to protect you. So this grunt droid turns up. Oh, you need to get this. This is brilliant. So this grunt droid turns up and says, oh, mother's calling or something like that. So Tessa says to the grunt droid, these are the orders to the grunt droid. Motivate the Yautja to explain its weapons. Okay? Oh, and also box up Thea. Thea's hurt by this. Tessa is definitely off the Christmas card list. So Dec and Thea start talking to each other. And the grunt, get this, the grunt doesn't understand Yautja. So he has no idea what they're saying. He's like, what are you saying? So they start trying to deceive the grunt. And Dec's like, look, there's this device that just happens to be here. Tell him it's a map. So Thea goes, right, okay, I'm talking to the Yautja. He said this thing is a map. And he says you need to look inside it. And the guard goes, okay. Takes the device and goes and looks inside it. But does it outside the door. Just goes outside the door and looks inside it. And instantly gets his head blown off. Because they're morons? I mean, what the fuck? So Thea, with her other arm, just releases Dec. Like, she could have done that at any point. Why all the subterfuge? Just to release Dec, I'm sure you can take out one synth. Anyway, we wanted this comedy beat, I guess. Oh, fucking hell. Tessa comes back with a load of droids. Thea opens the back gate and basically goes, Dec, run. So Dec buggers off. We get some bad, unconvincing CGI as Tessa and the droids just look out the back door. And we see that not only do Weyland Yutani still have the same logo, they have the same slogan after 300 years. So they get back to their base, and it's a massive installation. It's like miles across. Absolutely huge. And that's the end of that scene. Right, wait for this. This is brilliant. So Dec goes back to his brother's ship, because he knows where that is all of a sudden, and he's just not bothered to go there before. His brother's mask is right there. Dec heals himself using one of those little kits. Remember Predator? Or Predator 2. And has a flashback to what happened to Quay and how he protected him. And Dec is sad. Yes, Dec is sad. Feel sorry for Dec. And he throws a bit of a tantrum, and we get this flashback. It's all very, very human. And then the ship wakes up, and the ship's like, Quay, where do you want to go? Apparently the ship's absolutely fine. It's crashed, it's absolutely fine. It can fly, no problem. Dec, I bet you feel like a fucking muppet for jumping out of that on that bike now, don't you? So Dec goes back to where the weapons were, the trophy hall kind of thing, and picks up his brother's mask. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe he's going to finally use the mask. We're going to see the Predator in the mask. That'd be a nice tribute to his brother. Use your brother's mask to avenge him. I like it. No. We get a montage. And the montage is of Dec going back to every single creature that we've been introduced to in this film and using it in some way to make weapons of some description. Using it to make them grenades, or using the razor grass to make like a whip weapon type thing. All that kind of stuff. He even takes one of those snake spitty things and trains it with some berries. Yep. And then Bud turns up, and Dec says, Kalisk child, just in case there is anybody in the audience who has not worked it out, or was maybe on their phone. Then Dec goes and frees Thea's legs from where they were trapped, and they just walk off, get up and walk off. Right, we're almost there. About 20 minutes to go for this shit show. So we just go straight back to the base. Dec's there, and there's an android there, and the spitty snake thing, which apparently is called Squirt, I read in the interview, is like coiled around his arm and over his shoulder like a plasma caster, and it's spitting at the droid, and it melts the droid, and droid all sort of melts and destroyed and everything like that. How this all works, I don't know. Dec gives it a berry, and he's like, oh, whatever, fuck this shit. And he's wearing this mask, but he's wearing this mask that he's made out of like wood or bone or something. Not wearing his brother's mask, not wearing the mask that would give you decent vision. I mean, we need to bear in mind that this is how this Predator would see, okay? On top of this, it's dark, and Dec, according to the interviews, is half blind. Why is he not using his brother's mask? Fuck. Oh, it gets worse, don't you worry about that. So the legs are wandering around, all on their own, distracting the guards, like they have sentience. So they're distracting the guards, and as they're distracting the guards, Dec is going around just murdering them. Why the guards don't radio in an alert or security breach or anything like that, I don't know. They're clearly just morons. They're just white men. They don't know any better. So Dec's murdering all the guards, Bud's murdering some guards. They stand no chance, despite that scene we saw earlier where they were totally in command and they had flamethrowers and they were kicking ass and everything. They are complete dog shit now. Couldn't fight their way out of a fucking wet paper bag. Absolute bullshit.
Wankers. Fucking embarrassing. Waste of our time. Fucking waste of our time.
So then we cut to Tessa, and Tessa's talking to Mother. It kind of made sense earlier because she was in a pod and a screen, but now she's just talking to Mother, and all the words come up on screen. So anything Mother says to Tessa has to come up on screen because, again, this is a dual screen movie where people would be on their phones, they won't be paying attention, and audiences, are kind of dumb. And then every word that Tessa says is again recorded on screen in text. Why is this? Oh, it's so stupid. So Tessa lies to Mother and says Dec's dead. And Mother's like, oh, okay. Even though earlier, Mother was like, there's a Yautja about, and it's with Fia, because we know. So what it doesn't know now, either from recordings from the guards getting destroyed by Dec, or any security cameras around that might have seen this happening, it doesn't know that Dec's alive. And it doesn't know that Dec's trashing all of its guards. It goes, yeah, okay, good. The Yautja's dead. That's no longer a problem. The company will be pleased. Fuck this film. Anyway, we go back to more of Dec just killing guards. Just killing him with his various weapons. Oh, but you wait. Oh, you wait. There's more. The legs on their own start killing droids. One of them jumps in this droid's face and then pushes him towards Fia's cell where she's been boxed up and gets his eyes to open Fia's cell before falling back and wrecking him and killing the guards because girls' power. And then as more guards turn up, the legs play dead because the legs are smart. And Fia's playing dead. And then they wake up and they ambush the guards. And these highly trained battle droids are completely ruined. Don't stand a chance. Literally getting their neck snapped, getting crushed by these legs and half a droid. And then, oh God. Oh, Fia gives the legs like a high five between hand and foot. Oh, I just want it to end already. So we cut back to Tessa. Tessa is supervising the loading. She is completely unaware of anything that is going on because not one of these droids, not one of these Weyland-Yutani droids has reported in and says something's going on. So she's kind of almost getting an idea. She's like, something's off. But she doesn't know. She doesn't know. So we go to this bit where Dec is basically looking for Fia, and he's caught cold by one of the guards. The guard's got him dead to rights. And then he is saved by Fia, who is magically whole. Yeah, that whole process that was going to take ages earlier with the equipment that they needed and the bio bed and all that kind of stuff. Nope, she's just back together, one piece. Instantly. Fuck this film. So Dec and Fia are talking, and Dec does all the, I came to rescue you because I am the wolf and I have to protect my pack, all that kind of bollocks. And then Bud shows up and it's like, yay, the whole clan's together. And Fia's like, look, let's get out of here. And then Dec's like, no, we need to rescue the Kalisk. Because Fia, despite being a scientific android that is meant to be sensitive and trained to work with the animals and meant to be analytic and knows all the stuff about the animals, has not worked out that Bud and the Kalisk are one and the same until Dec says it again. Kalisk child. And she's like, oh. Dec sounds the alarm. And obviously with the alarm going off, Tessa's finally like, oh shit, something's going on. Because, whoa, other guards want to sound the alarm? The writing in this isn't dog shit. How can anybody say this is a good film? There's so many people on social media going, this is great, this is the best better ever. Oh, this is better than the first one. Oh, it's so brilliant. So Tessa's like, there are 20 minutes until we can initiate the launch. Let's go hunt. Why are there 20 minutes to initiate the launch? Why? Why does it say the Kalisk's already loaded? Just take off. Just take off and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. But no, we need this bullshit countdown so that we can have the end of the film. Have I said fuck this film in the last 5 minutes? Fuck this film. So the guards, all the guards, and there's loads of 50, 60 odd guards until there isn't, and now there's only about 20 for some reason. All go and find Dec. And Dec is just kneeling on the floor, facing away from them, in what is the most obvious trap of all time. But the guards totally fall for it. Totally fall for it. So obviously they all commit all the numbers, what's left of them. They don't shoot to kill. They don't take him down. They don't do anything. They just walk up to him. And we see that Dec has put those little exploded caterpillars all over the place. And the snake thingy moves, and they don't shoot it. And it shoots the caterpillars, and then it shoots the caterpillars on the other side. And then this blows up all the guards. Every single guard. So all the guards, all the white men are dead. So it's weird that people are saying that this is their favourite ever Predator film, and this is the best out of all of the Predator films, and this is the best one of all, when it has absolutely no racial diversity or representation in it.
You are racist.
Bigots. Anyway, so it's giant mech time. So Tessa shows up behind and shines the plasma caster down on Dec and fires the plasma caster, and the little snake squirt thing sacrifices itself. Yep, jumps off his shoulder, stops the plasma blast. Dec gets knocked over, his armour gets knocked off a little bit. And then we cut to the little snake thing on the floor, and the sad music plays, and we're meant to be sad that Squirt's dead.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
So Dec and then Mike start fighting. We're almost there, guys. I'm so glad we're almost there. So Dec and the mech are starting to fight, and then the mech kind of backhands Dec, and he goes flying miles, well not miles, but like hundreds of feet. So he's got to be broken. You'd think he'd be down, but no. Right, so we go back to Thea and Bud, who will release the Kalisk while Dec takes care of all the guards. Thea's top secret plan is to put a rain mac on and disguise herself as Tessa. And she's trying to open the Kalisk's cage with optic eye sensor thing. And there's this scene where she's trying to clean her eye because it's not working. She's like, you get this little sound. And this guard comes over and she's like, oh, don't question me. I'm Tessa. I'm your leader. And he's more or less buying for it. He's like, look, you told me to sort the ship out. She's like, yes, and good. And he's like, well, what should we do about that creature? And it cuts, and there's Bud wearing a fucking rain mac. Fuck this film. So he's all confused about Bud wearing a rain mac, and then Thea just wrecks him and says we need his eyes. I mean, these synth guys are just pathetic. They're just pathetic. They're worse than any henchman you've ever seen in your life. It's just such a joke. Anyway, back to the Dec and Tessa fight. Thank God this is nearly all over. So Tessa is hunting for Dec, who's hiding. And she lifts up this cargo container, and she's like, oh, you're meant to be under that cargo container. And obviously Dec is under the cargo container, but he's under it. He's still hanging, from the bottom of it kind of thing, and she hasn't noticed. And then she looks up and notices. And then he jumps down and he stabs her. And then after she's been stabbed, she puts the windscreen up. So she waits till she gets stabbed to put the windscreen on the mech up, the shield. Fuck this film. Fuck whoever wrote this film. You're a moron. You wrote a film for morons. Sadly, morons seem to be lapping it up, although not enough because you had a 68% drop. So slop only goes so far. Right. So then, just as Dec's about to get kind of wrecked, because he's out of ideas, the Kalisk turns up. So now it's Kalisk versus Tessa. And they're fighting, and she's got the chainsaw, and the circular saw, and she's put that through the Kalisk. Because apparently the regeneration only works once things have been cut off. You'd think, yeah, whatever. And Dec's swinging around like a monkey, ripping out cables and stuff to try and help. And then Thea's got the Kalisk kind of impaled on the saw, which has stopped working, but it's still stuck through the Kalisk. And she gets one of her grenades and throws it at the Kalisk, and then Dec deflects it at the last moment. But the mech's arm's kind of frozen, and then the Kalisk gets off the arm and rips the mech in two halves at the waist. Just like Thea earlier. It rhymes. Dec would get flattened by the debris that's falling from the broken mech, but Bud saves him. Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking care anymore. I just don't fucking care anymore. I mean, if she had a freezing grenade, why didn't she use it earlier in Deck? Problem solved. No, I don't care. I'm giving this film more thought than the writers did. The Callus then just eats Tessa. She's got like a plastic cast and she's like, I'm gonna get you. And Tessa's just like, no, you're not. Chomp. Eats her. But I know this isn't over. They've already telegraphed it. And like I said, this film has neon arrows pointing at everything. It is so obvious what is going to happen. But I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm just wondering how much shit and how shit this is in the meantime. So, Bud and Mum are reunited. Yay! Sorry, Deck goes over to the Callus and bumps heads with it. You know, and that kind of new, almost... They may as well be kissing, because that's what people do. People don't kiss in films anymore. They just bump heads. So he's bumping heads with the Callus. It's like, you get loads of Marvel-esque music playing. But then, Mama Callus freezes and explodes, just like we knew she was going to. So there's bits of Callus all over the place. Apparently can't regenerate from this. It's not the T-1000. And Tessa's just there. She's not frozen for some reason, even though she would have been in proximity to the grenade when it went off. Whatever. She's not looking too good. She's looking pretty wrecked, but she's in one piece, so the Callus didn't just like bite her in half or anything, which you'd think would be the way that it would have done it, because she was strapped into a harness. She's whole.
Right.
Whatever. Now it's just fine for the final boss fight, stage 2. Bud's all sad because Mama is in several frozen pieces. Deck is nowhere to be seen, and Thea is standing there. And Tessa has got the plasma caster and is slowly tracking up Thea's body till it gets to their head. Because you don't want to fire it now or anything. And this entire scene is for one reason. And this is one of the best examples of the bad writing I can think of. It's just there so that Thea can say, we're not sisters. Because Tess goes like, oh, you disappoint me, sister, or something like that. And then Thea goes, we're not sisters, that one-liner kind of way.
It's just been revoked.
Before Deck just stabs Tessa from behind and kills her. Deck takes the plasma caster, says this isn't yours, and Bud rips off Tessa's head. Deck rubs heads with Bud, and then that's the end of that. Time to deal with Dad. Right. So this is super quick. They fly there straight away. Deck goes there. Daddy's got 2 bodyguards that he basically sends after Deck, and Deck destroys them, kills them both straight away. So he takes out these 2 bodyguards in 2 seconds flat with like this spear. He's got two double-ended spear, takes out through the heads. Just pathetic. We see that Dad's got a beard. He's got a fucking beard. It's not hair. It's not hair. They're sensory organs. You didn't think this one through, Dan, did you? Did you giant fucking hack? Oh. Right, so... Oh, fuck this film, man. Seriously. They fight. Daddy puts on his cloak. Deck, in like one of the other only cool moments in this film, uses the brother's ship's engines to blow debris everywhere and dust so that you can see his father in the cloak. And then just wrecks him. Like, it should have been an epic fight. And I saw it in the trailer and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool, where there's bits of dust and wind showing bits of the cloak and everything. But I guess it's just too expensive to CGI, because Deck humbles and chops off his father's arm in about 20 seconds, if that. No epic fight. There's no epic fight in any of this. It's all just slop. It's all just so we can get to the next scene, so we can give a quippy little bit of dialogue or whatever. There's no epicness to this film at all. So this final fight, another complete disappointment. And Dad's like, maybe the White Brother did survive. Yield and you can join my clan. And then Deck's like, I have my own clan. And then Bud turns up and bites off Daddy's head. And Bud is now like, I don't know, 10 foot tall or something stupid like that. And has grown a ridiculous amount of time in a very short amount of time. Which means one or two things. It means either one, that Deck was unconscious for days and days and days and days and just happened to wake up when they got to, when the ship got to get her. Or it means that Bud's grown in size tenfold in the space of like a day, however long it takes. But this is modern writing. They don't think about how long things take, or distance, or time, or anything like that. Just what needs to happen in the script. Just what needs to happen in the script. So yeah, Bud's bit off Daddy's head, and then Deck takes the cloaking device, and he's like, I have my clan. And you can see him and Bud and Thea all standing there. And that's the end of your film. And then you get a post-credit stinger, and another ship turns up, and Thea's like, friends of yours? And Deck's like, no, it's my mother. And that's it. That's the last part of the film. All done. Right, this film's complete bollocks. I'm sorry. It is shit. There's loads of people going, oh, this is epic. It's so good. It's better than the first Predator. This is the best Predator film ever. You're morons. You're morons. This is slop. This is just modern Hollywood writing slop where things happen because the script needs them to happen, not because they've put any thought into anything. I've detailed over the last half hour how stupid this film is, how many stupid little writing decisions there are. And this is of 2 watches. This is one watch in the cinema and another watch via means that I could write down some notes. It's bollocks. I'm sorry. It's shit. It's absolute wank. There's a handful of cool moments, but other than that, it is just Marvel-esque, shitty writing bollocks. You know, it rips apart the Yautja. It makes everybody morons. It makes these battle droid simps are all just disposed of in 2 seconds flat. Barely an inconvenience. The final fight with Daddy, 20 seconds long. There's no stakes. There's no stakes at any stage in this movie. Every single stage of this movie, I knew exactly what was coming. Scenes in advance. Scenes in advance. It was so obvious exactly when each character would appear, each character would reappear, how a scene would go, how the dynamics would play out. It was one of the most predictable films I have ever seen in my entire life. It's just par for the course these days. And I'm really, really happy that it's got this 68% drop. And I'm hoping it really does just drop off the cliff and only ends up making like 180 million, so it doesn't make its budget back. Because I would rather have no Predator films than have this. Genuinely. If Dan Trachtenberg is the future of Predator, then I think he is nearly as bad as Shane Black. Shane Black's worse. You know, The Predator is a worse film than this. I can't say it's not. I just can't. Predators hunting humans for autism? As somebody with autism, I'm fucking offended. Do you know what I mean? It's not the next stage of human evolution. I'm sorry, it really fucking isn't. Yeah, no, this is bullshit. I'm sorry, this film's just absolute wank. Fuck this film. Fuck Dan Trachtenberg. Fuck Disney. This is a Marvelised, Disneyfied, neutered version of the Yautja. Deck's got these horrible human features, puppy dog eyes. It's bollocks. Let it die. Let this and the Alien franchise die. Let them all die. Or just give it one more go with the Alien franchise. Get rid of Ridley Scott completely. Fuck him off. He's old. He can't make good films anymore. Give Neil Blomkamp a chance at doing Alien 5 with Sigourney Weaver and end it. End it forever. Have a go back to the alien planet and wipe them out. De-age her, do whatever you need to do, and then just put an end on it. Put an end on the franchise. Do comics or whatever you need to do, but no more of this, please. No more of this Marvel. I'd rather it didn't exist. If you're not going to treat a franchise with any reverence or respect, and you're just going to turn it into another piece of shit, poorly written fiasco, then yeah, just don't bother. Don't bother. We'll always have the first 3 films, and there's even moments from the other films that I would say are half decent, but this is just, there were so many moments where I just cringed through my fucking seat in the cinema. Like the bit where Bud's wearing a raincoat, the bit where Bud's mimicking the Deck's movements, the bit where the Predator head bumps what was it meant to be his prey. Fuck off. It's just a total feminisation. Now Bud's wandering around his clan is basically a female droid, a female alien, Kalisk, all the men who didn't really have anything to do with this film were destroyed. His mother's now going to turn up. Brother's dead, dad's dead. Deck. I've seen people go, oh, Deck's queer, he's gay. I've seen people lusting after Deck. I have. I've seen on Facebook. There was a guy going, oh, he could breed me. The fuck is wrong with you?
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
That's when you know you failed. That's when you, well, or from Disney's perspective, they think they've, you know, there's people going around shipping Thea and Deck, and there's people lusting after Deck, and Disney are, oh, we love this. Is exactly what we want. This is what we did to Star Wars, and this is what we want out of this. While the rest of us normal human creatures are going, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
The fuck is wrong with you? I don't want this. I don't want this humanised, neutered, Marvelised, Disney-fied predator. Fuck off. Always got the first 3 films and bits of the others, and that's it. I'm sorry, that's it. I'm done. This film is garbage. Even if you take away all of the Predator stuff and all the insult to those, the Yautja and what's been done to them, you still have at best, a mediocre sci-fi film with loads of writing problems. Absolutely loads of writing problems and things that just don't make sense. I'm sorry, you just do. That's the end of it. I'm done with this film. I don't want to talk about it again. I am thinking about doing what I did with Alien Earth and trying to write a better version using elements of this movie. So if you enjoyed my Alien Genesis proposal and think that I should do something like that, let me know in the comments, because I'd be prepared to try and sort of do better, but I never want to see this again. I don't, and I don't want to talk about it again. I'd rather do something better, and I'd rather talk about cool stuff. So my next few videos, I think, are going to be cool stuff. Maybe I'll talk about the good Predator films, and maybe even just the mediocre Predator films, because they're better than this. This is, where would I put this in the ranking? It's better than the Predator. Is it better than Killer of Killers? I don't think it is, because Killer of Killers had that awesome... The Samurai one was cool. I think this is the second worst Predator film. I think this is the second worst Predator film, and this elevates Prey, which I didn't really think was very good. Originally, I thought it was okay. But I think this elevates Prey. Prey is better than this film, by far. So, yeah, I think this could be the second worst Predator film. I think that's where I put this. Whereas there's people saying it's the best and better than 1987. Doesn't touch it. Doesn't come close. Anyway, I'm done. I have been critical. Some would say very critical. And I'll be back with another video soon.